This is Keith Price's Curtain Call. This is Keith Price for Keith Price's Curtain Call, and we are at the primary stages press upfronts for the upcoming production of Exit Strategy that is talking about some very serious stuff. We're talking about education in America. You might have already heard me chat my conversation with Michael Cullen and Deirdre Madigan, and right now I'm talking to two of the actors that are in this show, Brandon J. Pierce and Mr. Ryan Spahn. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. So again, Brandon, tell me about your character, because they're making me cut right to the chase. I want to know, because this is a very interesting piece, and you look so young, so I'm sure you're one of the students.
I am. I'm actually the only student in the piece. My character's name is Donnie Bryant. He's a senior at the school, and basically how his track is going is that he's trying to save the school. This is going to be its last year, and he doesn't want that to be the case. He's started a fundraiser to try to raise the school, to try to raise money for the school. And in the beginning of when he starts in the plays, he's sort of met with some opposition against that. So then he sort of gets into I guess a confrontation, you'd call it, between him and the character Ryan plays, which is the assistant principal. And then, they sort of come together and try to figure out, what they can do for the school. Right.
So, Ryan, tell me, I was good. See, this whole time I was about to go, oh my God, he must have been student class president or something going into this. But no, you were the principal, vice principal. Yeah. So how does your character interact with all of this craziness that's happening with this closing school?
Well, I've been sort of thrust into this school pretty late in the game. I've only been here for a couple of years, and the school was falling apart when I arrived. And we gathered that no one really briefed me on that, and I took this job and have been completely overwhelmed by my responsibilities, as well as now I have to let go of all the teachers, more or less, and let them know that the school is about to shut down, as well as the students. And he comes to my attention, Brandon's character, because he was acting up in class. And up until then, I was pretty resolved to that we're just closing and there's nothing we can do and let's just make the best of it. And he helps me sort of either make a decision to continue on that path or to completely change my behavior and try and help save the school.
Love that. Ryan Spahn and Brandon J. Pierce with me here on Keith Price's Curtain Call, and we're talking about the play Exit Strategy at primary stages. And again, the question about education comes up. Now, were you both public school kids or private school? What's your educational background?
I was not public school. No. I was public school for middle school, elementary school, and 1 year of high school, and then I went to a private school for high school.
Okay, and you?
I was public school my entire school career. Yeah. But unlike in this play, I went to a school that was definitely never in danger of being closed down. I went to school in the burbs, so I didn't have to worry about that. But being from the Philadelphia area, it's been a very major topic the last few years about having the money for the schools and things like that. And a lot of schools have shut down because of budgetary reasons.
Now, for the two of you, primarily, I'm talking to Ryan Spahn and Brandon J. Pierce. When you're talking about looking at what's happening just on the landscape right now of education, it's like, how does what you see your character experiencing itself versus, and you were just about to touch on that too, versus what is kind of happening around in our public sphere right now? How does that affect you as a person when it comes to it? What is your passion when it comes to education? How do you feel about it at this point?
Well, I don't have a child, so my relationship to the school system has been strictly through what I read or what I watch on the news. It's not really been I haven't been directly impacted by it. So I think this play has really brought to light for me things that I didn't know about the schools that I either knew with an arm's length, but I never really saturated myself in understanding it. And I think this play has really helped me to sort of look at that and examine that. And I don't necessarily know what to do now, because it's such an overwhelming truth that the schools are really in a bad place. But this play at least exposes that and helps to encourage an audience to examine that, particularly those who have kids or are kids in certain school districts.
Do you think, thank you, Ryan, do you think that for you, Brandon, because I want to say you, since you've been through the system, shall we say, of public schools in general, it's sort of like I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, at this stage now, for you, you're young enough to be a part of the change that, I guess, education would need. Is that something that's in your, pocket of many things that you're going to do? Because, I mean, you're young, you're fabulous, you've got all this stuff going on. Yes, you are. Come on. And you have all of this vitality that now you're using your art to have this conversation. Are you having the conversations yourself?
I would definitely say that before the show, I was aware of the things going on, and now it's like being in the show, I'm very, very much aware of things. I mean, that's the great thing about doing shows sometimes, is that it puts you like right in the mindset for things. Because I had never really focused on the issue as much as I probably should have beforehand. And just thinking about the circumstances of it, because, especially with the character that I play in the show, for a lot of these kids, school is their home. They spend so much of their lives in school, which I hadn't really thought about before I did this show. I mean, half your day, most of your life, that's where you are. Those are the people you grow up with. Those are the relationships you form. Even like in this play, having someone who is an older person who you gravitate to and look to for guidance and things like that, to shape who you are. So, there's a lot at stake for the kids that are in these schools. So it's difficult, and it hurts. Yeah.
Wow, man, this piece is going to, I think, hit people in a place that they're not ready for, because of the conversations that just us trying to touch on a conversation in general and the things that we can explore. It just, like you said, Ryan, before, that is just, it's so huge. Like I personally don't know where I would start to deal with this.
We had a few talkbacks, and it was always interesting to hear where people would land with it after. And, there's some people who feel very empowered or very heard because they're maybe a teacher and they understand and relate. And then there's other people that we had who were so infuriated and felt like, what do we do now? Because the play doesn't exactly solve the issue, and it doesn't try to. It like holds a mirror and lets you sort of sit and think about it.
But that's the beauty of art, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then to think about this piece of art reflecting what's going on and not offering an answer, because clearly there isn't one, right? Well, there isn't one now at this moment. We're just kind of seeming to let everything explode, and then eventually we'll just pick up the pieces and figure it out after. I don't know. I'm excited, because this is now, again, like I said, I love Primary Stages because it brings such interesting pieces to the interesting conversations to the world in terms of the new works that they bring here. And so congratulations to you two for being a part of something that's going to actually be a real relevant conversation that people sitting in the audiences here in New York City will be able to look at and like you say, hold that mirror up and figure out what they need to do. Because I'm kind of afraid, personally speaking, and I don't know if this play is going to help my fear or anxiety, but I have a feeling that it's certainly going to, because I'm like you, Ryan, I don't have any kids. And so I'm like, school was cute for me. So I'm sorry y'all ain't get yours, but that's not my fault. But you don't want to be that person. But again, exit strategy here at Primary Stages. Go to primarystages.org to find out more about this piece. Ryan Spahn, Brandon J. Pierce, thank you so much for taking some time with me. And you guys, read some books, man. Get some lessons. That's what we used to say. Get your lessons, young people. Get your lessons. So, yeah, it's hitting me in a really interesting place, and I'm just glad that there's conversations that are going to be happening, and from the artistic place. So, congratulations to you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, and we will be back.